Navigating the job market, it's an art. Networking, resumes, doing well in the interview. The Omaha Career Networking Group will host a 12-week series. Starting 1 month from today, you'll learn new strategies to find the work you love. One of the facilitators is here. His name is Scott Vowinkle. It's nice to have you. I know your partner in crime, Jeff, is out sick today as well. Mike's gone, so the two of us, we're hanging tough.
I think Jeff's a little under the weather, so he's probably watching at home.
Jeff, get well. Mike, in case you're watching, get well. But Scott, give us a word about your group, OCN. What do you do?
Omaha Career Networking was started about 7 years ago. A guy by the name of Mike Familetti had just come out of transition, and he learned a lot of things in a job transition and decided, you know, I want to pay this forward. I want to help other people who are either unemployed or underemployed because the rules of the game have changed. And so he started the group 7 years ago.
So what do you mean? What did he learn about resumes or about networking with technology and some of the sites that are available now? What were his most valuable lessons?
Networking. Networking is key, and that's what's changed and why people who are now in the job transition that maybe have never been in the job transition before, or it's been years since they applied for a job, it's a different world in terms of how you network into a job. Posting a resume on a social networking site or on a career site and hoping for some sort of action, this isn't the way that it happens anymore.
And that's why a lot of people get frustrated when they can't even get an interview, Scott. I mean, they're like, what am I doing wrong? I've got all of this experience. I've got a lot to offer, and I can't even get a first look, much less a second. So you've got this 12-week series. What is it designed to do?
The Career Transition Workshop is a group that I had become familiar with when I was in transition myself in Texas a number of years ago. And Jeff, my partner, and I, who co-facilitate the group currently, decided, you know, let's lend some structure to our program. So this 12-week program will start on March the 22nd, and it begins with a program called Accepting the Axe. It's like you've been let go. How do you handle, how do you cope, where do you begin? And then we run it through this 12-week series. And the idea is the 12-week series will continue to repeat. So if somebody misses the first session or two, they can pick it up later on. That's the beauty of it.
You don't have to attend every single session across those 12 weeks.
So we'll cover interviewing, we'll cover resume creation. There's even a session where you get to practice interviewing, which is a really cool session. So the idea is to give everyone who is underemployed or unemployed the tools that they need in order to get to that next position quickly.
Well, you say that because I think about our unemployment rate here. It's terrific if you look at national averages and what some other cities are dealing with, but the underemployment rate is something that doesn't get a lot of attention, and I feel like that's something we're still seeing the effects of that from 2007, 2008. People still sort of stuck in that pattern. I mentioned before the break, Scott, about selling and marketing yourself, and I know that's something else that you'll address during this 12-week series. Is there something more, sort of this, I don't even want to call it a mistake, but almost a practice that people are in, and you feel like it's detrimental, that it's affecting a lot of folks looking for jobs now? It
really is. But one thing that I learned when I was in transition in the height of the recession is there's no stigma attached to it. There really isn't. Companies treat, unfortunately, or how you look at it, are treating people differently today than they used to. So people understand when you're in transition. What we recommend for our members in the group is to let people know that you're in transition. It's perfectly okay. There's no stigma attached to it, but let people know through your social networking. Develop a LinkedIn profile. We could talk for hours about LinkedIn. But the point is, let people know what you're good at, and then what we try to do in our group is help people really focus in on the things that make them totally employable and better than somebody else who's applying for the same position.
Who gets the most out of this series? Who would you like to have attend?
Anybody. It's really open to anybody. We have white collar, blue collar, entry level people. We have kids that are coming out of college looking to get a foothold. We have people that have been in the business world for years. So it's a real wide variety. And that's the beauty of it, is that the techniques are not age specific or gender specific or talent specific. It can apply to anyone. And that's the beauty of the group and why Jeff and I really enjoy facilitating it and paying it forward.
I'm also thinking about a couple of friends who took time away from work to raise their kids, who are now young adults, and they're thinking about getting back into the job market. So this might also make a lot of sense for them, because it really is about comfort and confidence, I think, Scott. I mean, it's not just like what can you bring to the table, it's just having like that, being able to walk in with your head held high, feeling like, yeah, I deserve to be here. I deserve this interview. I can contribute, even if it's been a while.
Well, it's about transferable skills too, because if for people that have been out of the workforce for a while, I use this.
Military, right? Service members.
Absolutely.
Who try to
Look at all those transferable skills.
Uh-huh.
Even if you've been raising kids, but have run a soccer team or been a soccer mom, think of all those skills.
Mm-hmm.
There's bookkeeping. There's a whole logistics component to running a soccer team. All those things are very transferable skills that someone who has been out of the workforce for a while can take back in.
This series is free?
It's absolutely free. There will be a book for the Career Transition Workshop. We ask for a $25 donation, which is just to cover the materials, but it begins March the 22nd.
And you do need to register. You can do that by calling the number on the screen or by visiting that website. It is a little lengthy. We'll link you back from our site too in case you don't have time to jot it down. Go to OmahaMorningBlend.com. Scott, good to have you.
My pleasure.
Our
Thanks
best
for
again to
having me.
Jeff. He's got 4 weeks to recover and then we need him.
I think he'll be fine.
He'll be just fine by then.